Hello, everybody. Welcome back to another video. In today's video, as you guys may have, been able to tell by, um, whatchamacallit, the title of today's video. God, my mind blanked. I'm sorry. I got, little to no sleep last night. So this should be a fun one. I went on and I remade basically the Marvel Comics universe again. But as you can tell by the title of this video, I call it Year 1. So basically, just give you guys a rundown. I'm going to go through. I'm going to give you guys, I'm basically going to tell you guys, what I would do if Marvel came to me and said, hey, Nick, we've seen, we just need new people, and you have and we know you're friends with Jim Steranko, and he's mentioned about you writing or whatever. Now, I will say for real, I am friends with Jim Steranko, good guy. But this is just in a hypothetical universe. If they were to know about me, and they would know about, and they're just quitting and they need help making new money, and they said, hey Nick Stu, we make our universe, you are in charge of Marvel. So basically, this is just like a hypothetical what if Marvel handed me over the keys to Marvel Comics and I was put in control. What I do for Year 1, this is going to be a series until, I just honestly get old of it, and I'm probably going to be doing these at least once a week, probably, maybe once every other week. Because I saw this like a week or two ago, and I just didn't think about making this a video until just last week. So I thought, hey, I might as well get finished with this and then go on with it. Actually, let's see. Saturday I was continuing with this, so I was just somewhat at the beginning of it, making the Avengers stuff and Captain America, and proceeding through whatever else that I did. So basically, guess today's Thursday, so I've almost done a week. So this might be a weekly episode until I just get done, but until I get through with it. But anyways, guys, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go through each issue. I'm gonna explain to you why there are a certain amount of issues in certain series. And I just want to let you guys know now to make sure to click the like on this video and subscribe to this channel. It's gonna help me out a lot because I took a lot of time doing this. With just this alone, granted, just the characters and figuring out which series would be easy to do and not was the hardest part, and figuring out which superheroes needed the more comics. I start off with some of the easier ones with the most, as you'll see, are like 12 and whatever. Because those are just some rogues galleries that I knew. And basically, just people who I think should have a year-run comics, which would be 12 months. And basically, the way that I set this up is issue 1 through issue 12 is January through December. And anyone that you see issue 1 through 11 is issue 1 through 11 is February to December. 1 through 10 is February to October, and whatever. So you guys will basically get that as this goes along. Also with this, I thought about doing weekly, I would put characters X, Y, and Z down for the first week of January, and the next week we do this and that, and then I kind of spread it out. But I'm not really going to do that. Maybe here and there, just to give you guys an idea of, if you, the viewer or viewers who's ever watching this, go on and walk into a comic book shop just to, get an idea of what you were to be expecting. If Marvel went on and said, hey, we're remaking this universe, our universe, and, whatever else. So basically, this is kind of like an alternate universe, kind of not. But anyways, guys, I'm almost 5 minutes into this. I think it's high time I quit explaining. I think you guys understand what I'm getting at here. Hypothetically, I'm in charge of Marvel, and they tell me to remake their universe, and this is me remaking it, and I'm literally remaking everything because I'm not a fan of the current day Marvel comics and just somewhat comics in general. I do like them, but some stories I just really haven't been a big fan of. And by the time issue 12 Fantastic Four came, I'm not quite there yet at issue 12. I'm still trying to read the series, but actually that's why I haven't read that series yet. Whatever the newer current ones go on, I read a bunch of different series. So this current Fantastic Four series that's going on, someone asked to just completely erase it off of their list at the one comic book shop that I used to work at, and because he just said that it wasn't good. So if Marvel's messing up the Fantastic Four, then they're doing something wrong, and they're pretty much messing up Peter Parker with becoming the Green Goblin. So there is that. So anyways, guys, I'm just gonna, jump straight into this. And I'm just now realizing that I'm forgetting a series, but I'll probably include that into year two, and I'll explain to you which ones are year two by the time maybe next week's video comes out, or a week after that, in 2 weeks. But that's what I'm just gonna do. I'm just gonna go on and just figure, that out. I don't know how many series there are in this for a 1 year time frame, but uh basically just see it as like, let me know in the comment section below on like which superheroes that you would have liked to see in year one, and maybe I'll include them in year two, or just how you would feel about this being a new Marvel comic universe. So what I'm gonna do is series by series, and like I said, number 1 through 12 is January to December. 1 through 11 is February to December, so on and so forth. So if there's less issues in a series, the last issue is December, count backwards from there. So, anyways, guys, I'm just going to start things off just by that, and just going to go from there. So, series 1 is The Amazing Spider-Man. And for The Amazing Spider-Man number 1, it's called With Great Power, and as you will see for majority of these number 1s, basically they're just going to give like an origin story. So with Great Power, is basically, so with Great Power is like the origin Spider-Man gets bitten by a radioactive spider and goes on. Uncle Ben gets shot, whatever, the simple Peter Parker stuff. Then here we go into Amazing Spider-Man number 2. Kind of like a continuation of issue 1 in a way. Meet Bonesaw. And basically, Bonesaw is, of course, the wrestler. If you've watched Spider-Man from 2002, which once again, I don't know which Marvel fan hasn't. Macho Man Savage played Bonesaw, and he was a wrestler. So, and I was thinking about including El Muerto, but I'm like, maybe down the line I'll include El Muerto if I really wanted. But I figured, hey, why not? You give Spider-Man wrestling. Give Spider-Man and wrestling a chance, and then Bonesaw ends up being like this villain who failed in the wrestling world, and now wants his revenge on Spider-Man, and Spider-Man could be up some thugs, then Bonesaw would want to like try to kill him or something. So basically, that's what issue 2 is gonna be. It's gonna be Spider-Man versus Bonesaw, and Bonesaw is just a normal dude, but he's a wrestler. Amazing Spider-Man number 3, The Chameleon Strikes. Basically Spider-Man versus the Chameleon. It's basically what this is about. The Chameleon goes on, and we just get introduced to this Chameleon. And we learn, about Chameleon and whatever. Amazing Spider-Man number 4, Spider versus Rhinoceros. This will be Spider-Man versus the Rhino, and if you know about the Rhino's origin, you could throw something in there like J. Jonah Jameson. Hire this one guy to test something out, and have Rhino try to kill Spider-Man or whatever, or the guy who is Rhino, I always forget his name, but he goes on and he tries to kill Spider-Man once a science experiment gone wrong or something like that. But it's basically introducing Rhino into this universe. Next up in Amazing Spider-Man number 5 is the Fantastic Four. We're just gonna see Spider-Man meet the Fantastic Four. We will understand why here in a little bit once we get to that issue of the Fantastic Four, but it's basically Spider-Man meeting the Fantastic Four for the first time in this series. Technically second time once we get to that Fantastic Four issue, and yeah, because that concludes into Amazing Spider-Man number 6, Spider-Man meets Doctor Doom. And basically, this is Spider-Man versus Doctor Doom. This will be technically it's Fantastic Four's second time facing Doom. Technically not, but it's more or less Spider-Man's first time fighting Doctor Doom. More on that later. Amazing Spider-Man number 7, Lizard roams the sewers. This will be basically Dr. Cook Connors, and it's going to be a mixture of his comic book origins mixed with the Amazing Spider-Man movie. Dr. Connors, of course, is Peter Parker's teacher. He wants his new hand, but then once again, science experiment gone wrong, and he becomes a lizard. And his wife and child is afraid of him, so Spider-Man has to put a stop to him, and he lives in the sewers, and that's where one of the big battles will be, the final battle before Lizard gets put into Ravencroft. And this will also be the first appearance of Ravencroft in this series as well, but not really. It's also just kind of mentioned. Amazing Spider-Man number 8, Meet Dr. Octopus. Once again, this is just Dr. Octopus, or Dr. Otto Octavius, teacher gone bad, and, well, if you know Dr. Octopus, you know his character. He made these mechanized arms, and now he uses them for evil, so Spider-Man has to put a stop to him. Amazing Spider-Man number 9, Green Goblin Strikes Part 1. This will be kind of the first appearance of Norman Osborn in this universe, kind of not. But like we will get to see the first interaction of Norman Osborn and Peter Parker in this series, because in this issue, because Peter and Harry are good friends, and you know them being together at school. Which, by the way, with great power, we will get to be introduced to Harry Osborn and Gwen Stacy and Aunt May and Uncle Ben, basically. So majority of people, and then at the end of Green Goblin Strikes, it'll basically just be where Norman Osborn finally gets put on the Green Goblin suit and goes on and says, "I'm gonna kill Spider-Man." So it's basically just part 1 is kind of like a build up to that, with the Amazing Spider-Man number 10. Green Goblin Strikes Part 2 is basically the part 2 and the big like final battle, or not really final battle. They'll probably face a couple more times, but the big blow off battle in this 2-part series between Spider-Man and Green Goblin. Next up is the Amazing Spider-Man number 11, The Tinkerer. This will come out, of course, in November, guys. And it's basically Spider-Man meeting, you know, the Tinkerer and if you read Amazing Spider-Man number 1, the second story in that, or was it the first story? Was it number 2? I forget. The first, I think, like 2 issues of the Amazing Spider-Man had 2 stories in it, and one of them was the Tinkerer. So it's basically gonna be kind of like that, but with no like aliens helping him. But the Tinkerer's gonna basically go on. And he's gonna mess up some stuff and whatever else. And finally, for the final Spider-Man comic book in year 1 will be the Amazing Spider-Man number 12, Meet Mary Jane and Rapier. Basically, Rapier is like this swordsman, kind of. Look him up. If you don't know who Rapier is, look him up. I do have his first appearance. It is Peter Parker's Spectacular Spider-Man Annual number 2. That is his first appearance. I haven't really read him, but basically he's like a swordsman, and he's a Spider-Man villain, kind of like a lower tier Spider-Man villain for sure. I think he's only appeared maybe once in comics, but sorry guys, hey on my phone, but so if you hear me blowing at all, that's why. So yeah, so that's basically it. We get to finally meet Mary Jane. And Gwen Stacy's still alive, guys. Because, well, I have plans for Mary Jane. I just can't, say quite what yet. without, giving away too much for year two. Um, or year, yeah, for like year two. Next up is the Avengers short series, only 6 issues. This will be your first 6 issue one. Um, so this will pretty much be in June, I believe. Yeah, the first Avengers comic will be in June, so perfect for summer. So June through December would be the Avengers, guys. So you would have to wait at least 6 months to get the Avengers, but but there will be some sort of build up, with superheroes making this new universe, and you will see as you go along who is all in the Avengers. But um, with that being said, guys, there aren't gonna be too many people, and I kind of wanted to stick with the comic books a little bit, just to have a little bit of actual comic accuracy plus a little bit with the movie. So there's going to be at least 6 or 7 members to kick things off with the Avengers, and you do see Captain America already, so he is by default the first Avenger, but I'm not going to, tell you guys who the Avengers are, but he's the first out of the 7. So Avengers number 1 is going to be Earth's Mightiest Heroes, and it's basically just the Avengers coming together. No really threat, kind of like in Avengers number 1 on why they are together, but Avengers number 1 is basically them coming together, just being like, hey, like we need to go on and uh fight these people, and like fight these bad guys and fight these big threats, and whatever else. So basically, that's why we can, I don't know, I guess we can figure something out on why they are coming together, but something like that, something like, big threats, and how there's not really a team besides from the X-Men, but the X-Men's in Canada, so it doesn't help anything with New York City. And then and Avengers number 2, Loki returns, and basically that tells you guys the second member of the Avengers, Thor. He does face Loki, but Loki's come back, and now he's taken over Midgard and New York City, and this will pretty much bring Thor into the Avengers. So Thor is actually going to be somewhat of a late addition to the Avengers. And Avengers number 1 is going to be a somewhat short issue, but it's going to be a pretty decent one, though. Next up in Avengers number 3, we'll have the Mole Man. And I don't I don't remember if Mole Man is in the Fantastic Four series or not. I'll be surprised at some of the people I put in. I added a lot of characters, but the Mole Man will be there, and the Avengers will have to go on to fight Mole Man. And speaking of fighting other people, Avengers number 4, Avengers fight Namor. Namor Submariner is coming from Atlantis or whatever the thing was. That was called in Wakanda Forever, which I do kind of like. And unfortunately, I do forget what they called that place, but that would be the official name for Namor, just simply because I like the differences between, Marvel and DC, and I don't really like to, like, be like, oh yeah, this is the same place in each one, even though that they're the same universe. So it's just, I don't know, I'm not a big fan, and Atlantis sticks more with, Aquaman more so than Namor. But in Avengers number 5, after the Avengers go on to fight Namor doesn't die or anything. He just kind of goes, none of these people will actually die, but Namor just kind of goes back. Like, he'll say that he's defeated for the moment, but he'll come back eventually, better and stronger. But in Avengers number 5, you guys get to meet Space Phantom. Avengers number 2 is a highly underrated issue. If you guys have the Marvel Mighty Masterworks, I suggest you get it. If not, and you have Marvel Online, and Avengers number 2 from 63, I believe, is on there, make sure you guys go on and read that, because Space Phantom is a very underrated villain, and I kind of wish that he appeared more in comics. He's pretty much this alien shapeshifter from space, and back in the day, the Hulk used to be a big time threat because he was so strong. So they made him more often than not an Avengers level threat. And Space Phantom was one of the people where he shapeshifted into someone that he saw out on the street. That person would go into this area, into like this dark space, and then when basically when a space phantom either shape shifts into someone else or shape shifts back into himself, that person is gone because you can only have one of that person in the world. So I thought that he was pretty cool. So I thought that that would be a pretty decent Avengers read. And finally, in Avengers #6 in December, we got Agent of Shield. So this will be the first appearance of Shield and Nick Fury, like Nick Fury, Maria Hill, maybe Phil Coulson. I don't know, but we will get to see Nick Fury basically um being like, yeah, like I'm here and like I just want to like recruit you guys or whatever, like to help out Shield. So I mean I'll figure out more with that, but that's basically kind of the premise I wanted to get to. Kind of like the movies, kind of not like the movies, because I want to stick with more comic accurate stuff that doesn't feel like it's taken from the movies. I want to take more stuff from, like, I think but 98% of the stuff that I have here um is from the comic books and not so much the movies, but there's like that mild 2% that I'm like, yeah, I'll take from the movies because I like that more so than the comics. But that is that. But you guys will learn more as you go on. So in December, you guys will be introduced to Nick Fury and Shield. Um, Next up is the Captain America series, and in Captain America #1. We have Super Soldier, which is basically Steve Rogers going on and building up to be Captain America. Um, and then in issue 2, we have World War II. Um, and basically, it's like, because, well, issue 3 is Meet Red Skull, so World War II is going to be pretty much like kind of the build up for Captain America versus Red Skull the first time around, but we do get to see Captain America fight Hitler. And if I were to, hire someone to draw, I'd be like, do that Captain America punching Hitler in the face, because that's the most iconic comic book cover ever. And you can fight me on that. It is the most iconic comic book cover ever, and no one can tell me otherwise. Um, so if not that, then Avengers #1 or Amazing Fantasy 15 first Spider-Man. Those I think are my top three, with Avengers at #3 and Amazing Fantasy 15 at 2. But Captain America #1 to me is the most iconic comic book cover, and that's the cover that I would use for World War II. And Captain America #3, once again, Meet Red Skull. This is when Captain America would go to Earth. Will go into to be frozen for a while and lost, and then by the end of the issue, we will see discoverers discover him for the first time, and we will get to see Bucky Barnes die and meet Red Skull as well. So there is that. And just to build him up for issue 6, but we'll get to that here in a second. Captain America #4, introducing Baron Zemo. It's gonna be basically Captain America fighting Baron Zemo, because Baron Zemo, is just this bad guy and whatever, and he's just like, hey, Captain America, I've heard of you, and honestly, I'm not that real big of a fan, so he's basically gonna try and kill Captain America and make Captain America not be relevant um, to the modern, to the modern world. Captain America #5 will be Ulysses Claw, and Claw will basically be, now I don't know if I spell his name, but I've seen it spelled as KLAW and KLAUE, but I like AUE more because that's just the way that my brain thinks. So this will be our first appearance of Claw, and he'll be, like I said, more comic accurate, more so than what the movies did with him. But it will be Captain America fighting Claw for the first time, and Claw fighting a superhero for the first time. In Captain America #6, we get to see who is Winter Soldier. And this will be pretty much the return of Bucky Barnes, and he is going to go on and be like, hey, I'm the Winter Soldier, sup, Steve, and basically we're gonna have like that little thing. like he's gonna be like brainwashed by Hydra, which we still don't know about quite yet. But throughout the issue, he'll be like someone's brainwashing him. I just don't know who. Next up in Captain America #7 is Meet Falcon and Red Wing. Yes, I am introducing the bird Red Wing and giving Falcon the iconic look. I'm not that big of a fan that the MCU uses like a tech thing. Like, I mean, I guess that's cool, and I don't mind it, but I much prefer the classic Red Wing. That's the actual bird. I grew up with a superhero squad, so I much prefer that. The villain of this, I don't really think that there is going to be a villain to this. I think that just to be introduced, I think this issue will be mainly like maybe you get to see Captain America fight Falcon, but him training Falcon to become the Falcon, because maybe they might meet through somewhere, and Steve is like, hey, like, I'm Captain America, let's help out and whatever. So who knows, something like that, guys. Um, but basically, Captain America will train Sam Wilson into becoming the Falcon, and Falcon's bird is Red Wing, who just is kind of like his miniature sidekick. And here and there, and well, the first team up battle actually will be in Captain America #8, introducing MODOK. And well, it's gonna be Captain America and Falcon fighting MODOK for the first time. And this will also, I believe, be the first time that we do get to see MODOK in the comic books as a whole. Well, in this new universe, at least. When I say meet someone or introduce someone, you guys are meeting them for the first time in this universe, and they're being introduced for the first time in this universe. In Captain America #9, it will be Captain America meets Blob. The Blob will be there in general, throughout the X-Men and Wolverine comics, but I like it when different villains cross over with different people. So, and I don't think Captain America's ever fought Blob one-on-one. So I enjoy stuff like that. So I think it'd be really interesting that Captain America, would go on to fight someone like the Blob. In Captain America #10, we have Autumn Zola. You can even say Falcon could be intended into this. Maybe like the first time around, and he can get injured. Because maybe he can help Captain America fight Blob, and then he fights Autumn Zola for the first time, but Falcon just can't do it. So this is gonna be another solo Captain America, because Falcon's kind of like Captain America's sidekick, but he really isn't. He's just still in training until Captain America lets him loose. So this will be the first time Captain America is gonna fight a villain without a Falcon. Captain America #11 will be Don't Cross Crossbones. Once again, this is just gonna be the introduction to Crossbones. He's gonna be kind of like a gang lead. He's gonna be kind of like has his own gang or mob or something like that, and then it's gonna be from the street level to villain to, oh, I got this awesome suit, now I'm just gonna beat you up, Captain America, because he's like super strong or whatever. But then he gets a suit which makes him a little bit stronger and sends like shockwaves and whatever. So I don't know, it's really cool. It's gonna be a mixture of like the comics and the movie as well. But not really. That's gonna be the November one, and once again, the final Captain America comic book of the year in year one is Captain America #12. Baron von Strucker lives. So Baron von Strucker would have been in World War II, proceeding to be in Meet Red Skull, and Baron von Strucker will just be like, yeah, like I was like you, Captain America. I was just hidden away in the shadows for many years, and now I'm here and alive, and it's been my goal to finally pick the right moment to fight you. And well, this will be Captain America fighting Baron von Strucker, and Baron von Strucker is actually the guy who's been uh like doing Winter Soldier. So this will be kind of like a bigger issue, I guess, where like kind of like a giant size issue, where Captain America will go on to fight Baron von Strucker with Falcon. but they also go on to fight Hydra, and well, Winter Soldier will finally turn on Baron von Strucker and just say, "Hey, I can't deal with you," and then he'll shoot Baron von Strucker, and at the end they'll think that he's dead, but in all actuality, Baron von Strucker is gonna be alive because I have other plans for him later down the line. Sorry, I had to take a drink here. My voice is killing me. I'm gonna try to run through this as quickly as possible. I have like 15, 16 different comic book series, but that doesn't mean that they're gonna be long. Next up, in the Incredible Hulk #1, Man Turned Monster. It's gonna be basically the blah, blah, it's going to basically be the origin of Bruce Banner turning into the Hulk. No, he's not gonna be great. No, I would not make him gray. I would make him green, simply because I have plans for Joe Fixit in the future. Maybe we might get to him in year 3. Who knows? In Incredible Hulk #2, we got Abomination is Afoot. Basically, this will be first time being introduced to Abomination, and kind of like the same thing with Bruce Banner. It's just science experiment gone wrong, whatever else, and Abomination is made, and he is now forever the Abomination, and he can't turn back into him because he's just stuck that way forever. And yeah, we just get to see Abomination versus Hulk for the first time. Incredible Hulk #3, it is the Absorbing Man, and basically Absorbing Man is working on whatever, and he accidentally dealt with radioactivity because he was first a construction worker. That's how he got the wrecking ball and whatever. But then he got dealt with radioactivity, and then he became the Absorbing Man, and whatever he touches, he absorbs. So basically, he was crumbled in like walls and whatever. So that's how he became the Absorbing Man. And Jesus, I'm sorry, the Hulk has to go on and fight the Absorbing Man for the first time. But don't worry, I have plans for Absorbing Man. I mean, you'll see if you go through the Incredible Hulk list. But still, though, that this will be the first time that the Incredible Hulk will be meeting the Absorbing Man for the first time. Incredible Hulk #4 is Hulk fights Juggernaut. Once again, I love it when different heroes cross paths with different villains. That's what I would like to do with this remake, because nothing feels connected anymore as the universe as it was back in the day. For crying out loud, you had Captain America fight Dr. Octopus for reasons unknown, but it worked back then. It worked, and nowadays, if Dr. Octopus fights Captain America, God knows why. There has to be a reason. If they're doing it just to do it, then people would be pissed because it's not a part of like the actual series, which is why I would much rather do this with this new comic book universe to make it feel more like the classic stuff, and it makes it feel more connected and give villains a purpose on why they want to go after these heroes. So this is the reason why Juggernaut is going on to fight the Hulk, because he heard about the Hulk, so he left to go to New York City to meet the Hulk because he believes that he is the only man that is worthy to be strong enough to fight the Hulk. And to kill the Hulk, and he should be the only strong man around. Incredible Hulk #5, introducing the leader. This is just not really kind of like it's not really going to be a leader origin, because some villains won't get origins, and villain's one of them. Yeah, and the leader is one of them, but basically it's just going to be the Hulk versus the leader, and it'd just be just as simple as that. Hulk fights the leader. Hulk #6 is meet Zax, and Zax is like this dude made of electricity, so it's going to be pretty much electricity versus muscle. That would be that issue. Hulk would have to first time ever use his brains and not his bronze, or as much brains as possible, so we will get to see Bruce Banner go on and this issue and try to figure out how to beat Zax, and not really smart Hulk, but he'll find a way to hopefully control the Hulk enough to get to where Hulk would have to fight Zax. So it's kind of like a glimpse at Professor Hulk, but not really. It's still going to be very, very early on. until we see Professor Hulk. But I don't plan on introducing Professor Hulk for a while, until I just get bored with this. Issue number 7. Issue number 7 is Hulk versus Thing. This will be the continuation to the Hulk crossover with the Fantastic Four. So this will be the Hulk's second time around meeting the Thing, but this will be the first time that the Hulk actually goes on to fight the Thing, because they were just at each other's throats. But towards the end of the issue, they just both agree to become mutual friends and to stay out of each other's way. Whenever it comes to like superhero stuff. Number 8, Incredible Hulk number 8. Who are the Wrecking Crew? Basically, this will introduce the rest of the Wrecking Crew with Absorbing Man, and Hulk will have to fight the entire Wrecking Crew, which he will do successfully. And instead of them actually getting away this time, they will all go to prison. And basically, the Absorbing Man finds them because they're his old friends who also his old teammates who did also go to a life of crime and decided, hey, we just want to steal jewelry and stuff. So they stole some stuff from their working site and decided to follow in Absorbing Man's footsteps because they figured that he would be more successful as a villain than an actual construction worker. Number 9 is Enter By Beast. By Beast I'm very interested in. I don't know much about him as a character, but I believe that I did see that he's like a robot or something, so this will be pretty much monster versus robot. In Incredible Hulk number 10, it is Wendigo. So basically it's just Hulk going on, learns about Wendigo, goes to fight him or whatever, and basically try to stop Wendigo from doing the crimes that Wendigo's doing, but Wendigo doesn't want to. So Wendigo wants to try and destroy the Hulk, but the Hulk has to try to stop Wendigo before Wendigo destroys the Hulk. In Incredible Hulk number 11, Hulk meets Rhino. So Rhino basically will break out of prison after his first go around with Spider-Man, and the Hulk will hear about that because Spider-Man's off doing other stuff, and Hulk just needs a time off from doing Avengers duties. So he's going to go on and do his own little thing and decide, well, since Spider-Man's off doing his own thing, I guess as of right now I gotta, go on and actually beat the Rhino myself. So he's gonna go on, he's gonna fight the Rhino, and it's gonna be the first time that they'll meet each other, and he'll successfully get the Rhino into prison. And finally, in the Incredible Hulk number 12, we get Constrictor. And Constrictor is just once again another Hulk villain, actually first appearing in Incredible Hulk 212, I believe. And this will just be his first go around fighting the Hulk and his first introduction into this new universe. And it's just a simple Hulk battle. He's just kind of like a street level villain that just pretty much has these special like whip things, whatever they are. And Hulk is gonna try to stop him, put him into prison, but Constrictor doesn't want to go to prison, so he's gonna fight the Hulk. Fantastic Four number so in Fantastic Four number 1, we got the First Family. Basically, it's just kind of like the origins to Fantastic Four in a way, but it's kind of like a mixture of it's pretty much a mixture of the comics and the Ultimate Universe, because I really enjoy what they did with the Ultimate Universe, so it's gonna be kind of like that. So it's just basically them all meeting each other for the first time and whatever else, and then they go on to get their powers and decide, hey, they should become the Fantastic Four because they're heroes and whatever. And number 2 is Doctor Doom, so this will also be kind of like Victor Von Doom as well, we will be first introduced to Victor Von Doom in Fantastic Four number 1, as kind of like the person who's in love with Susan Storm, but ultimately, once again, he ends up becoming Doctor Doom, and Doctor Doom will go on to fight a Fantastic Four, which they will successfully defeat him. Fantastic Four number 3, meet Mole Man. So this will be Mole Man's first time appearing in the comics, and basically Mole Man lives underground or whatever, and he comes up to New York and tries to destroy the city, but uh, with like his giant monster thing. Actually, no, not yet. Not his giant monster thing. I'm saving that for Future 1 and Year 2. Fantastic Four go on, fight Mole Man, and defeat the Mole Man. In Fantastic Four number 4, we have Fin Fang Foom. This will be the first introduction of Fin Fang Foom. And it's basically, once again, Fantastic Four fights Fin Fang Foom, because Fin Fang Foom is just one of my absolute favorite villains in Marvel. And I believe that to be first introduced, he should go on to fight the Fantastic Four respectively, and then to proceed to go on to fight the Avengers and Iron Man and Hulk, so on and so forth. So this is just the introduction of Fin Fang Foom. In Fantastic Four number 5, Doom returns. So basically, Doom returns. He's a little bit stronger than before, but not too much, because I don't want to unlock Doom's full power quite yet. I think it's a little bit too early. Because I do have him planned as an Avengers level threat a couple of times, but as you will see as it goes on, Doctor Doom will go on to fight a couple of different heroes to learn and gain their abilities and whatever. But Doom will go on, he'll return, and he'll be too powerful for the Fantastic Four. So then the Fantastic Four at the end of the issue goes to meet Spider-Man, and that's why. Because they're like, hey, Spider-Man, we need your help about Doom and whatever. And basically it's that whole issue, but then Spider-Man will go on and will be like, alright, but I need something in return. He's like, I want to be a part of your team for a good paying job, and then whatever else, and Spider-Man can get into a battle with them in that issue. And then they'll both come to agreement. It ends the terms once we get Dark Doom's first appearance, and once again, Amazing Spider-Man number 5. So there is that. Once again, connected universe. That's the goal with this. Next up in Fantastic Four number 6, Fantastic Four meet Hulk, and this will be one of the issues right before Hulk goes on to face a Thing, but it's because the Hulk interferes with what they're doing. I have not yet figured out a villain for this. I don't think that this might even need a villain. But basically they're going to go on and they're going to meet the Hulk, and that's what will set up Hulk versus Thing for the future, but it's gonna be kind of like Fantastic Four also versus Hulk in this issue, but not fully as of yet. So there's there is that. But I haven't really thought fully about it quite yet, but this is going to be like their first interaction with each other. In issue number 7, it'll be Man or Dragon, so basically the first appearance of Dragon Man into this universe, and once again, it's just Fantastic Four versus Dragon Man for the first time in this universe. Fantastic Four number 8, From the Future, Psycho Man. This will be Psycho Man. This will also be the first time of time traveling in this universe, so only in year 1. And I know, unfortunately, we don't get to see Kang yet, but I do have plans for Kang to use him a couple of times. But I feel that this will be a good time to introduce Psycho Man, because he's a pretty decent villain from the future first, and this will just be kind of like an origin story of him, but not really. But next up will be Fantastic Four number 9, Annihilus, will be introduced. I don't know if we'll be introduced to the negative zone, but I do know that we will be introduced to Annihilus, and the way that Fantastic Four defeat him is by sending him back to the negative zone, in which way he came. So it'll be the first time Fantastic Four fight Annihilus. Fantastic Four number 10, introducing Impossible Man. Impossible Man, once again, Fantastic Four villain. On a poster, I think he's a balloon or something, but I think he shapeshifts or whatever. I don't remember fully, but like I can see his face in my mind. I just forget what he does, but it's basically just Fantastic Four versus Impossible Man. And in Fantastic Four number 11, this is Meet the Skrulls. The Skrulls will be kind of like the villains going into this series at first. So this will be not really Secret Invasion as of yet. This will just be a simple Fantastic Four versus Skrull battle. More on them will be later, and it even goes into Fantastic Four number 12 with Fantastic Four versus Super Skrull, which the Super Skrull will go on, take the powers of Fantastic Four, and fight Fantastic Four all by himself, and use all the different powers against them. But once again, more on that later, because I do have an idea for a later series that will be mentioned here. X-Men is the next series, and in X-Men number 1, it will be Meet the X-Men. So the X-Men for this, I'm just going to quickly go through it. Professor X, Beast, Angel, Cyclops, Storm, and Jean Grey. That's it. That is your X-Men. So that is that's your X-Men. So just remember that, guys. That is your X-Men, and Beast is blue in this as well, not really human form. So in X-Men number 2, it's Meet Juggernaut, and basically it's just, well, we get to kind of see, Juggernaut origin, and we had to see Professor X talk about like how Juggernaut's like a stepbrother or brother-in-law or something like that, or explain to him how they're related, but they will be the X-Men fighting Juggernaut for the first time. And in issue number 3 will be X-Men versus Magneto, and Magneto will have almost a clean defeat, but Professor X will make a deal with him to just not return or whatever, or we'll get to kind of see Professor X fight Magneto, but the X-Men eventually take Magneto down, but don't fully kill him, because Magneto does mean something to Professor X, and Magneto by the end, with the X-Men defeating them, he'll just basically stand down and go away for a little bit. In X-Men number 4, it's introducing Wolverine. So this is actually where Wolverine will first appear in this universe. And we will get to see more of an origin to him in his series, which I'll get to in a little bit. But basically, he's coming and he wants to be part of the X-Men, which Professor X will say yes, but Cyclops just says no, that he'll have to go through some training and whatever, and well, that's basically about it. It's kind of like training, but at the same time, it's just Cyclops and Wolverine will just kind of like start to go at each other's throats for the moment. X-Men number 4 will be introduced. X-Men number 5 is the Blob, and it's gonna be the first time Blob is in this universe, and Fantastic Four is fighting them. It's fighting him. X-Men number 6, the Mysterious Mystique. So this will be Mystique's first time, and the X-Men will go on to fight Mystique. X-Men number 7. Oh, I'm sorry, Nightcrawler. Nightcrawler is the other one. That's part of the X-Men as well. I'm sorry. Anyway, so X-Men number 7, the Sentinels. So Magneto will be back, and he'll claim that he made the Sentinels, but he really didn't, and he just took them from X-Men number 8, Meet Nimrod, and it will be revealed in that issue that Magneto and Nimrod made a deal that once that Magneto could use the Sentinels to defeat the X-Men, and once that's done, then Nimrod will go on to destroy the world, but Nimrod's just not pleased with Magneto for doing that, so then Magneto just kind of like pushes and then Nimrod just kind of pushes Magneto out of the way, and basically it's a Fantastic Four fighting, the X-Men fighting Nimrod. X-Men number 9, Meet Morph, and this will be the first time Morph is going to be a part of the team, but we'll get to see, like throughout the issue as well, like something going on with Morph's mind and whatever, and that won't be revealed on who's taking him over until X-Men number 10, Mr. Sinister, and this will be Mr. Sinister's first time appearing in the series, and this issue will also be when Morph will officially be a part of the X-Men, and the X-Men will defeat Mr. Sinister, and Mr. Sinister will go away temporarily. I didn't. Oh, that's because okay. I'm just now realizing I didn't add a certain character that I wanted to, a certain villain, but I forgot I'm saving him for you too. Okay. Um. So, X-Men number 11, X-Men versus Sabretooth. This will be Sabretooth's second time appearing in this universe, with his first appearance being in a Wolverine comic. But this will just be the X-Men fighting Sabretooth, so it's going to be all of them fighting Sabretooth. Because Sabretooth is stronger than before, but it does ultimately come back down to Wolverine defeating Sabretooth again. And finally, in the final issue of the year, X-Men number 12, Omega Red Strikes. Once again, this will be Omega Red's second appearance in the comics. And basically, it'll be, sorry guys, it's just, I had to move the thing because I couldn't see how long this video was. 50 minutes, goddamn, I'm sorry for this being so long. And basically, this is Omega Red being, just coming back stronger and wanting to fight Wolverine and kill him and get his revenge, but instead he runs into the X-Men, and he said that's fine, more for him to destroy. Next up is Thor. The Mighty Thor, actually. And, so Thor number 1, Son of Asgard, we'll get to see Thor be given, Mjolnir by, Odin, and we get to see, Thor's full, journey into becoming, the god of thunder and why he was chosen by Mjolnir. Which then by the time Odin will be saying it, he'll also be going on to say the line of, with whomever holds his hammer, may they be worthy to wield the power of the mighty Thor. So that will be going on in this issue. And in issue 2, brother versus brother, Thor will go on, to fight Loki, and basically, basically it's just because Loki's jealous of Thor for getting the, throne and not him, so Loki will try to kill Thor and wanting to get the throne, but ultimately ends up failing and is put into an Asgardian prison. Number 3 will be Thor Shall Be Destroyed, so this will be the first appearance of the Destroyer in this universe, and, it's just, basically the Destroyer was made to protect Asgard, but it's just kind of like the first Thor movie, but not really. It's just Loki put a spell onto the Destroyer from far away, and the Destroyer just pretty much can't be stopped, so Thor will have to try and defeat the Destroyer before the Destroyer kills Thor, but Destroyer can't really be fully defeated, like he can't fully die because of him being made of metal and whatever, but still, it's Thor fighting the Destroyer, basically. Thor number 4, Thor versus Yorick. I forgot about Yorick. I don't fully know his powers, but basically, Yorick just wants to destroy Asgard, and Thor just doesn't want to. Thor doesn't want Yorick to destroy Asgard because Thor won't let it happen. So Thor and Yorick just gets into a fight. Number 5, the beautiful Enchantress. Enchantress will go on and try to lust Thor into becoming Queen of Asgard or Princess of Asgard until Odin eventually dies and Odin is the King of Asgard. Because he is like the Prince of Asgard for the moment until something does happen to Odin, whom is, of course, the king of Asgard, but that is not the case. Also, Heimdall is also in this universe, and he does help Thor in number 3 by telling Thor how to defeat Destroyer, um, but we will get to see Heimdall here and there throughout the comics as well. So of course he is in number 1, and we do get to experience Thor's mother's death in number 6. And I know that I didn't get done with number 5, but basically it's just Thor didn't let her have it, and she's taken away into an Asgardian prison. Basically that's about it. Nothing special. She'll return. I have plans for her. Thor number 6 is Curse, and we do get to see Thor's mother die in Thor issue 6, and then Curse isn't killed because Thor will want to kill Curse, but then Thor will realize that that's not what his mother would have wanted, so he's gonna destroy Curse as much as possible, but then put Curse or injure Curse as much as he can, but then put him into an Asgardian hospital, and then also put him into well-protected Asgardian hospital, but also put him into an Asgardian prison as well, so he can't escape. And this will be after Avengers number 2, the Midgard Serpent. While Thor's in Midgard, Odin tells him Thor's gonna, right before Thor goes back, Heimdall connects with Thor, and he said that Odin said to stay down there because there's this thing called the Midgard Serpent, and it's gonna come destroy the world. And Thor's the only one that can stop it, but he's gonna be like, okay, I'll go out and find it, and he does, and we get to see Thor fight the Midgard Serpent. In number 8, I thought this was an interesting one. Introducing Seth. So Seth is gonna be like an Egyptian type of villain, and Thor will just be fighting him, and Seth will come to, and majority of Thor stuff will be in Asgard, but this is gonna be kind of like an Egyptian area as of way, but Thor will be fighting Seth, who's kind of like an Egyptian god, so it's basically be that kind of an issue. So Thor would be back up in Asgard because he is the prince, but he's also the protector of Asgard as well, excluding Heimdall. But Heimdall is the person that allows people to go into and out of Asgard. But Thor's kind of like its protector while Odin is its king. So that's basically what this universe will be. But you'll have Seth, who Thor will have to fight, and then make Heimdall banish him back to Egypt, which is where he came from. And Thor number 9 will be Thor's execution and this will be when the Enchantress returns. After Thor rejecting Enchantress, Executioner will let her out, and then Enchantress will tell Executioner to go kill Thor, and Executioner will fail, and both Enchantress and Executioner will be, Enchantress would be put back into an Asgardian prison, while Executioner will be into an Asgardian prison, because he would be like an Asgardian security guard until like Enchantress just puts like a spell on him, like a mind spell on him, until he breaks out of it, which he won't for a while because she will just keep putting it on him and on him and on him, off the books, like off the pages. And this will be kind of like a 3-part series, mini series, with Thor number 10 being Meet the Frost Giants. So this will be the first introduction to the Frost Giants. And we also get to see Thor fight the giant frost giant dog thing. That was in the first Thor film, which I thought was really cool. But we get to see Thor fight him, and that will be the big bad of the issue. But we will also learn about the Frost Giant's history. And Thor number 11 will be Frost Giant Loki, and this will be when Loki breaks out from the Frost Giants, and he gets to show his true form as a Frost Giant. So we will also see an origin story as well with Loki fully, with him being a frost giant, and he gets to turn to a frost giant, and Thor will have to fight frost giant Loki, until he does ultimately end up defeating Loki, and Loki is back into an Asgardian prison, but not for long, because in Thor number 12, Odin will fight Laufey. And this will be a big blow-off battle for the year. Loki will help Laufey. They'll make one of those another big dog things. So this will be kind of like, I guess, one of the big, major, only Christmas-style special ones, but for Thor, and it would be a somewhat of a bigger issue. Not really giant size, but it'd be bigger. It'd be a couple more pages than a normal one. So that would be that, but they ultimately end up defeating them, and they banish them from Asgard into a special cold place, and we will get to see them return in later Thor issues. Next up is Invincible Iron Man. Invincible Iron Man number 1, it is Man of Iron, and this is basically like an Iron Man origin story. He gets captured by these people called the Ten Rings, and this is a little bit of movie that I'm taking it out of, but it won't really be it. It will also be Iron Man's actual origin from the comics, and he'll go on and he'll once again fight people from Ten Rings. He'll get the Iron Man Mark 1, and then after doing that, he'll decide, hey, maybe I should go on to fight villains and help protect the people of New York and whatever. Invincible Iron Man number 3, Blizzard. So this will be Iron versus Cold, and this will be the Mark II / his first official silver and gold suit, which he will hold for a while. In Iron Man number 3, we will get to officially meet the Mandarin, the man who is behind the 7 rings. And he does have 7 rings, not the... the 10 rings. And no, they aren't the 10 rings that Shang-Chi will have. They will be the actual 10 rings on his fingers. And they will be worth a pretty decent amount or whatever, and they help him with his power and whatnot. So Mandarin would, help out. So, the Mandarin will be the main villain of that, but we get to see the Mandarin first appear in the comic books, and we get to see Iron Man officially fighting the Mandarin. Next up in Iron Man number 4, introducing Spy Master. Spy Master is a weird, obscure villain, but we get to see Iron Man fighting him for the first time. He's kind of like a B-level villain, and that's pretty much how he's going to be treated. It's just he'll go on to fight Spy Master, and then he'll get him done and over with, and Spy Master will go to jail for a while. Iron Man number 5, Cry Gladiator, and basically that's about it. Iron Man will go on to fight the Gladiator. Next up in Iron Man number 6 is AIM, and Iron Man will just have to be going after AIM, because AIM wants some Stark technology, but Tony Stark won't let them, and he'll have to be Iron Man to stop AIM. And I don't remember if this will be when MODOK has first appeared or not. Would this be... Hold on 1 second, guys. I can't believe I'm doing this. No, so MODOK won't officially be a part of AIM yet. But, yes. But also, Thor, Hulk, and Iron Man, Captain America are also people that are in the Avengers. And I know and there shows Daredevil, but Daredevil is not a part of the Avengers. Neither is, Spider-Man. So number 7, Iron Man on Mojo TV. I love Mojo. Mojo's a favorite X-Men villain of mine. No, that's not the villain I was talking about. I was talking about a villain that not many people know and has only appeared in one comic book, but he will appear in multiple comic books, of course. for the X-Men and maybe fight some other people as well, but Mojo is not one of them. I just thought that Mojo would be a cool one because he could hack Stark technology, whatever, and then Iron Man would have to go on to fight Mojo and make Mojo stop. And Mojo really wouldn't like die or anything. He'll just basically be like, okay, like I'll stop bothering you, Iron Man. I'll go and do someone else. So that's basically that. Iron Man number 8, meet Obadiah Stane. This will be Obadiah Stane going on to help, and this will go into Armor Wars, but this will be Obadiah Stane saying, hey, I'm a friend of yours, I'll try and help you, whatever. But, and that's gonna be it until, throughout the series, throughout the book, we will see him talking on the phone with someone saying about, like, how he is getting closer to Tony Stark and taking the Stark technology and whatever else. And then he'll be able to find the Mark 1 and he'll start working on that for Armor Wars, because in number 9 we'll be introducing Justin Hammer. So basically, Justin Hammer will go on and want to steal Stark technology and whatever, and he knows a couple people to help him with that, and he'll introduce these people and whatever else. And in Iron Man number 10, it'll be, 10, 11, 12 will be Armor Wars, parts 1, 2, and 3. Yes, I am jumping the gun a little bit, but yes, excuse me, guys. Yes, I am also planning on an Armor Wars 2. That's going to be bigger than the first Armor Wars. But Crimson Dynamo, Whirlwind, and, my god, Ironmonger will be some of the main, like the 3 main guys who are stealing Stark technology. And also, in part 2, Rhodey will become the War Machine. Not yet Iron Patriot. And I do have plans for who will be an Iron Patriot. I have a couple people in mind, but I'm not going to say who yet, of course, because spoilers. But I already have the main villain of Armor Wars 2 planned out in my mind, and who I want them to become, and why I want them to become the villain of Armor Wars. But that might not be until year 3 thing, if I'll even get to year 3. So that'll basically be it. So this is Daredevil. Daredevil number 1, Man Who Can't See. This will be basically the origin of Daredevil and how his dad was a boxer and whatever else, and how he became, Daredevil. And he'll also be trained by Styx in that as well. Daredevil number 2, who is Leapfrog. This will be the first introduction of Leapfrog, but he will basically be kind of like a thug or a crook or a criminal. Just be like a lower tier villain, just to basically be like, yeah, I'm just doing crimes and whatever in Hell's Kitchen, and Daredevil will put a stop to him and put him into prison. Daredevil number 3 we will get to meet Alexander Bont, which, if you guys don't know, he is the first mob boss of Hell's Kitchen before the Kingpin. So that is where that is going to be. So basically, Alexander Bont, we'll get to see Daredevil fight Bont in that issue. Daredevil number 4 will be the Stoatman. The Stoatman's going to go on in Hell's Kitchen, try to fight Daredevil, but will ultimately end up failing. Daredevil number 5, Daredevil versus Styx. So basically, Styx is like, alright, time for your 2 challenge. Student fights the teacher, and that will basically be it. Daredevil will win, but Styx will still be alive, and it will be seen throughout those issues leading up to it, because Daredevil will need him for help, and Styx will be like, fine, well, this is your big breakout moment, before you actually go on to fight some of the best of the best. Daredevil number 6, Bullseye. So Bullseye will be there, and this will be Daredevil's first true arch enemy in the Daredevil series, and he'll get to meet Bullseye, and it'll basically be Bullseye versus Daredevil, and Bullseye will actually be kind of like if someone sent him out on a hit to kill Daredevil. We won't learn who yet, but he pretty much was first sent out on a hit. He fails the first time around, but then comes back the second time around with guns to try and kill Daredevil and other equipment, but he just ultimately ends up failing. Again, Daredevil number 7. Who's Sent the Hand? Well, in issue number 8, Wilson Fisk sent the Hand. So the Hand basically is like this group of red ninjas, and Daredevil will go on to defeat the Hand. But it appears in number 6. We'll get to meet Wilson Fisk, and, well, we will learn that Wilson Fisk was the one to send out the Hand. But Wilson Fisk will meet Alexander Bont in that issue and whatever, because we won't see Fisk as of yet. But, because, like, we'll be introduced to Wilson Fisk, but he'll be just kind of like, yeah, like, I'm a secret mob boss and whatever. Like, my guys were Bullseye in the Hand. But Daredevil put out a stop to that. But Bont's mad at Wilson Fisk and whatever. And that will lead into Daredevil number 9, Fisk versus Bont. And Daredevil will be both in these issues. But Daredevil will be kind of like on the line, just doing whatever else. And like he'll kind of be there just to be there, but he really wouldn't. It will be mainly these 2 issues will be Fisk will be more of a Fisk story to be building up Fisk some more, but we do get to see Wilson Fisk versus Alexander Bont. Daredevil number 10, Kingpin of Hell's Kitchen. We will find out right before Fisk and Bont like actually fight each other. Like the big blowout match. In this issue, we'll actually see who will become the Kingpin of Hell's Kitchen, which once again is Wilson Fisk, but Alexander Bont will still be alive. I have other plans for him, but he will just be some other guy for the moment. And Kingpin's first deal of order is to hire out another hitman on Daredevil, and that hitman is Daredevil number 11, Meet Punisher. Punisher versus Daredevil, or Daredevil versus Punisher. And this will be Punisher's first appearance in this new universe. And basically, Daredevil will go on and be like, alright, you want to fight me, that's fine. You want to try to kill me, that's cool. It'll be a good battle. Punisher will come so close, but at the end of the day, Daredevil will overcome the odds, and they'll both come on a mutual agreement that Punisher would have just given up, and he gave up the name saying, hey, Wilson Fisk sent me, but I wasn't in it for the money. I just like killing people and typical Punisher shit before the Punisher, actually becomes like the hero or anti-hero that we all know and love him as. And then in Daredevil number 11, it's Daredevil versus Kingpin, or Daredevil versus Wilson Fisk, but this will be the actual Kingpin by this point of Hell's Kitchen, the official mob boss of Hell's Kitchen, so we will get to see that for the first time around, Daredevil versus Kingpin, and that'll basically be it. Kingpin will come close to defeating Daredevil, but he won't, but Kingpin will still be alive because Bullseye will come back for this issue in the Hand, and Daredevil will just be outnumbered for the moment. And he'll have to go to Styx for help, but Styx just says, hey, like, if it's a battle you can't win, then it's a battle you can't win, and you'll have to try again. And then they go on to do some more training, and at the end of the issue, Kingpin will just be like, alright, who's my next victim because since Daredevil doesn't want to fight me, then who's next? And basically, this is going to build up to Kingpin wanting to go after other people in the Marvel Universe. Next up is Ant-Man, and issue number 1 will be Pym Particles. No, this is not the Scott Lang Ant-Man. Yes, this is the Hank Pym Ant-Man. So Hank Pym is just a studier on ants, and he uses Pym particles to grow things and shrink things, and because he's interested in being in the world of ants and whatever. And basically, this will be kind of like an origin story on him, becoming the Ant-Man and how he accidentally gave himself the Pym particles because he got his drink confused with that, or he picked up the wrong thing, and he drank it, and then he shrunk down to the size of an ant. But then he'll quickly learn himself how to get out of it because he kept like a spare growing enhancement one, and then at the end he'll become the Ant-Man, and we'll get to see the suit. And in Ant-Man number 2, introducing the voice. The voice is a character that's basically just has super loud noise, and he'll just try to kill Ant-Man while trying to do that with using loud voice, but while like using loud noise because of the vibration in the ears or whatever. But Ant-Man will go on, defeat the voice. And yeah, hold on. I'm sorry, that was my mother. So where was I? Oh yes, Ant-Man number 2. Jesus fucking Christ. I'm sorry you guys have to sit through this, by the way. If you're even by this point, good for you. If not, then I understand. Honestly, I don't even know why I'm making this video, just because I need to get videos out there. Because I thought this was an interesting idea, and if I didn't show anyone, then it'd be fucking pointless. So that is what would happen in Ant-Man number 2. Ant-Man number 3, Egghead, and Egghead goes on, learns about the Pym particles, and wants to take them from Ant-Man, but Ant-Man will fight Egghead, and then ultimately Egghead will go to jail. Ant-Man number 4, Crossfire shoots. Crossfire is going to be just some villain who just does villainous things, and Ant-Man will have to try and put a stop to him. There's no really ethics to it, but he'll probably then learn about the Pym particles and just defeat the Ant-Man and be like, hey, like, I just don't, I just, like, don't like you, and I just want to take this for myself because it's really cool. So then Ant-Man will have to go on, fight Crossfire, and that's it. Meet the Wasp, basically, so, Janet Van Dyne will be the Wasp, and she will learn the ways of Pym particles, and she'll become the Wasp. They'll do whatever, and basically this will be the issue before the Avengers really comes out, because her and Ant-Man are both a part of the Avengers. They were part of the original 5, and that is pretty much it. Also, it is both Iron Man and Captain America's idea to form a team together, and Ant-Man and the Wasp will be the first 2 recruits, basically, of the Avengers. So Ant-Man number 6 will be Ant-Man versus El Toro. El Toro is just, another Ant-Man villain, but Ant-Man and the Wasp will be fighting El Toro. Next up will be Ant-Man number 7, Ghost Strikes. Ghost will go on and, yeah, Ghost will just go on and do ghost things and become a villain and whatever else. Ant-Man number 8 will be introducing Ultron 1. And Ultron 1 will be basically the first go-around with Ultron. Like the first test, I guess. Ultron is going to be kind of like their helper or whatever to go on with the stuff. And there'll kind of be like a little moment where like we'll get to somewhat see Ultron towards the end of the book like turn on Hank Pym, but Hank Pym will go on and give him this baseline stuff and whatever and whatever. But this will be the first Ultron bot, but this will not be the last either. I have plans for that. I just want to get Ultron introduced early on, just so Ultron can be Ultron, and when the Ultron story gets there, it'll be really cool. Ant-Man number 9, Porcupine Spikes. It's Ant-Man versus Porcupine. Porcupine's just a weird, obscure character, and it's just gonna be the Ant-Man fighting Porcupine, not really Wasp. But Porcupine's there, and Ant-Man will go on, defeat the Porcupine, put him into jail in this special animal jail facility with like Rhino. Next up, Ant-Man number 10, Magic by the Magician. So the Magician is the villain. Magician will kidnap Wasp, and it's up to Ant-Man to go on defeat a magician while using his Pym particles. And he will successfully do it. Magician will then be put into jail. And then next up is Ant-Man number 11, the Scarlet Beetle. A beetle will go on, and well, yeah. So Ultron 1 will help Ant-Man with the Magician as well. By the way, I'm sorry I forgot to mention that. Anyways, Scarlet Beetle will go on accidentally get a random beetle will go on, get into some Pym particles, and then become a human. Actually, and then, will not really become a human. They'll get into Pym particles, become bigger, and then get into radioactivity, and then get into like radioactive stuff, or gamma ray or something, and then the beetle will become like a person, and then try and defeat the Ant-Man but the Ant-Man will successfully defeat the Scarlet Beetle and put Scarlet Beetle into the special containment center that only he knows about. Next up is Black Panther, and in Black Panther number 1, it is Origins, and this will be the origin story of T'Chaka becoming the Black Panther and the legacy of the Black Panther itself. In Black Panther number 2, it will be the new king, and it will be T'Challa becoming the Black Panther, and it will be T'Challa going on and becoming king and whatever, and he has to go through this thing of, hey, even though like T'Chaka's like, hey, even though you are my son, you still have to go through these necessary tests to see if you are worthy enough to become the Black Panther, because the Black Panther is not only a symbol for Wakanda, but he is also the protector of Wakanda, and you gotta do the stuff to show why you love this native country. So basically it is that. Black Panther number 3, meet Namor, Talokan. That's it. Namor will appear from Talokan, become into it, saying, "Hey, to T'Challa, you're not the king. I'm the king." And then that's when stuff will go on like that. But Black Panther will fight Namor. Then Namor will go away and say, "It's fine, I'll come back ruling for this country whenever I need to be. I'm gonna go on and do my own stuff." And then he will then go back to Talokan and then proceed to fight the Avengers in his next appearance. And Black Panther number 4, it is the Man-Ape. So basically Black Panther will go on and fight. Once again, he will just fight the Man-Ape. Black Panther number 5, introducing Kibber the Cruel. Kibber the Cruel, very interesting villain. I like him. I think he's cool. And he basically just wants to kill the king of Wakanda, Black Panther, aka T'Challa. But Black Panther won't let that happen, so he'll defeat Kibber, and Kibber will be sent to a Wakandan prison. And Black Panther number 6, King Kavadar rules all. King Kavadar will go on from his place and say, "Hey, I'm the rightful king, not you." So he would want to go on to try and rule Wakanda, but Black Panther will defeat King Kavadar and send him back to where he came. Black Panther number 7 is No One Survives Hellraiser. Hellraiser just wants to go on blatantly, just is like, fuck you, I don't like Wakanda and none of you that are in it, and it's just gonna go on to fight them, but he will then lose to Black Panther. Um, and of course, Shuri and M'Baku will be there as well, because yes, I get it, M'Baku is the man ape, and he does have his own tribe. M'Baku in this universe is his own separate character, with Manape being someone else. So Shuri, M'Baku, Shuri, M'Baku, Okoye, and Nakia will help out um, Black Panther in defeating Hellraiser. Um, Black Panther number 8, Soul Strangler out for souls. The Soul Strangler will come in and try and fight people, and this will also be the death of T'Chaka. And his funeral will be held in Black Panther number 9, but the Soul Strangler will then be defeated and sent to a Wakandan prison for good. But we'll get to see the funeral for T'Chaka in Black Panther number 9, Killmonger Comes. This will be the first introduction to Killmonger in this universe. He finally comes after T'Chaka's death, but he wants the throne, so him and Black Panther will be fighting each other out for the throne. And kind of like the scene from the first Black Panther film, where they're fighting to become like the king ruler. So that will be that, but T'Challa will actually go on and defeat Killmonger, but Killmonger vouches that he will return. And shit, I'm sorry, I was looking at issue number 10 when I was reading that. Fuck, no, Killmonger Comes. In issue 10, they'll be battling out for the throne. What the fuck did I have idea down for number 9? Oh, no, he's just debuting and he's getting introduced to his character and whatever. In number 9, they battle it out for the throne. In number 10, they battle it out for the throne. Number 9, unless if I had someone different for the throne battle. No, it was Killmonger. Yeah, it was Killmonger. It was Killmonger, right? Yeah. So that's the battle for the throne. Number 9 will be Killmonger being first introduced into this new universe, and it's like, hey, cuz, sorry for your father's death and whatever. And because I do kind of like the older comics as well, but there's some aspects of like New Day comics that I would like people to get interested in. And sometimes you don't always need a fight in the issue, and you need build up, and that's what this would be. And the entire issue in 10 will just be them fighting for the throne. And they'll be doing dialogue on why they should be, like the king or whatever. And Black Panther issue number 11, Meet the White Apes. So Manape will return with the White Apes, as like his army. So we are getting to the end here. I think I have like 4 more issues. Nope, 5 more series to go. Doctor Strange is one of them. So in Doctor Strange number 1, he will become the Sorcerer Supreme, and that will be introduced for Doctor Strange, Ancient One, and Wong. And also Renshaw as well, with Renshaw being kind of like a student as well, but Renshaw will just be also kind of like the servant to help Doctor Strange along his assistance. But this will be the issue where Doctor Strange will go on, learn about the mystic arts and the multiverse, and becoming Sorcerer Supreme. In Doctor Strange number 2, we get to meet Balor, and Doctor Strange will have to fight Balor. And Doctor Strange number 3, Enter the Dark Dimension. We will be introduced to the Dark Dimension, and in issue number 4, Doctor Strange fights Dormammu. Well, we will then be introduced to Dormammu in the end of issue number 3. Because we kind of just get to explore the Dark Dimension a little bit, but then we'll be introduced to Dormammu in issue number 3 with Doctor Strange fighting him in issue number 4, but we will also get to meet Clea in issue number 3 as well, because Clea will help him out in issue number 4. But then Doctor Strange will go back to his regular Earth after finding Dormammu, but Dormammu will not die. Doctor Strange number 5, Nightmares Within. Doctor Strange versus Nightmare, because Nightmare is such a cool villain, and yeah, it's Doctor Strange versus Nightmare. Doctor Strange number 6, Baron Mordo comes. It'll be Doctor Strange fighting Baron Mordo, and Baron Mordo is just mad at Doctor Strange for becoming Sorcerer Supreme, and he wasn't, so that's why that is that. Next up is Doctor Strange number 7, Caecilius, and Doctor Strange is just battling Caecilius because Caecilius just doesn't like Doctor Strange, and he believes that his magic power should be stronger than his. Doctor Strange number 8, Strange versus Doom. So it will be Doctor Strange versus Doctor Doom. This will be the 3rd time or 4th time that Doctor Doom appears in comics, or 5th time or something. But Doctor Doom will be in this comic book universe here. But this time he's fighting Doctor Strange. Next up in Doctor Strange number 9, introducing Silver Dagger. Silver Dagger is not really like a mystical villain. He's just kind of like a street villain, but Doctor Strange will just have to go on to fight him because reasons. Because he just doesn't like Doctor Strange, basically. He doesn't like, heroes going on, and basically this whole shtick is, once I'm done with you, Strange, I'll go and kill other villains. And Doctor Strange number 10 is Yandroth, the Techno Mage. So this will be the first mage-style villain Doctor Strange will go at it. So it'll be mage versus Strange, I guess. Or, like, mage versus magician, basically. I don't know if they're, like, same thing or the same difference, but that's basically going to be that. Next up is the Ghost Rider series, and then Ghost Rider number 1 will be Devil's Angel. And this will be the Ghost Rider origin story and how he became Daredevil, how he became Ghost Rider. And in Ghost Rider number 2 is titled The Devil Himself, Mephisto, and it will be the first appearance of Mephisto in this series, in this universe. Ghost Rider number 3, and like he'll be kind of mentioned beforehand in a Doctor Strange comic, but he really wouldn't. But he wouldn't be like fully named. He'll just say that the devil, like the, I don't know, something along the lines. Ghost Rider number 3 is Zarathos comes from under. So Zarathos, try saying that 5 times fast. It's a Ghost Rider villain who just wants to come and kill the Ghost Rider, and it's basically kind of like a henchman of Mephisto, but Mephisto wants to put Ghost Rider against someone that, Mephisto, just to, for Mephisto to test out Ghost Rider and his powers with. Ghost Rider number 4, the Scarecrow walks. It's just Scarecrow coming in to fight Ghost Rider. No, it's not Batman Scarecrow, it's a different Scarecrow. But Scarecrow will go on to try and fight the Ghost Rider, because Scarecrow will be kind of like will just kind of be like a thug or a street level villain turned into, hey, I have this rig, now I'm gonna kill you and whatever. So it's basically, gonna be that. He's gonna be kind of like a more human, but he's gonna be still a somewhat of a threat for the Ghost Rider. But it's just gonna be a one-time battle. Next up is Ghost Rider number 5, Deathwatch wants power. So Deathwatch wants to steal Ghost Rider's power and become the new Devil's assistant, but Ghost Rider will ultimately end up defeating him. Next up is Ghost Rider number 6, Ghost Rider versus Blackheart, and Blackheart will be kind of like the right-hand man for Mephisto, so Ghost Rider will have to go on and fight Blackheart and defeat him, because Blackheart just wants to kill Ghost Rider, and because Ghost Rider is slowly becoming Mephisto's actual right-hand man and his protege, and Blackheart does not like that. Ghost Rider number 11, Lilith emerges, and this will be Ghost Rider's actual first loss, and maybe even a first loss for a comic book character and a book, because Ghost Rider, because Lilith is just too powerful, and she's gonna go on, and it'll actually have to be Mephisto has to go on and lock her up and put her away after Ghost Rider weakens her enough. But he doesn't really defeat her. They just kind of lock her up because he can't beat her alone. And yes, I am planning on Midnight Suns. And yes, she's being planned as a big major villain for the Midnight Suns. Next up is Mephisto fights. And at number 9, it will be Ghost Rider number 9 will be Centaurus Comes. Mephisto fights. I think it just means that Ghost Rider will be fighting Mephisto in that issue. And then in Ghost Rider number 9, it'll be Ghost Rider versus Centaurus, basically. And Centaurus wants to come to kill Ghost Rider, so there's that. Oh no, that's a lie. Mephisto doesn't fight Ghost Rider yet. There is a villain that I have for that, but I forget his name. But it's a arch enemy of Centaurus. But Mephisto is strong enough we can deal with him on his own for the moment. Next up is Wolverine, and number 1 will be Origins. So this will be the origin story of Wolverine. Number 2 will be Wolverine. Wolverine number 2, Sabretooth. And this is going to be the first time that Wolverine fights Sabretooth. Wolverine number 3, Omega Red Rises, and basically it's just gonna be Wolverine versus Omega Red, and Wolverine takes down Omega Red, and that's why they come back for revenge on Wolverine. Next up is Wolverine number 4, Meet Jacko Diamonds. Jacko Diamonds is a good friend of Wolverine's, and once again, not really a villain in this issue, just two friends meeting up with each other, and they get hired for whatever. And next up, we see Wolverine number 5, Wolverine in Japan. So basically, Wolverine's gonna stop for a while in the X-Men and go to Japan, and he'll get to meet. I forgot what Lady Deathstrike's name is, but he'll get to meet her as a human right before she turns into Lady Deathstrike, because in future issues she will become Lady Deathstrike. Wolverine will have to fight her. But Wolverine number 6, he does get to fight the Silver Samurai, because he does get to learn some jujitsu and whatever, and he'll learn about the ways of Japan fighting, and he'll get to have to battle the Silver Samurai, because Silver Samurai just wants to fight Wolverine because he's just a villain and he just wants to kill Wolverine because he's heard about him and he's heard about the X-Men and he just doesn't like them. And he just wants them out of Japan as a whole. But in Wolverine number 7, Wendigo returns. Oh, by the way, Black Panther is also Black Panther and Doctor Strange. No, I'm sorry, Doctor Strange isn't part of the X-Men. Black Panther is part of the Avengers. Not X-Men, Avengers. Doctor Strange isn't part of the Avengers, but Black Panther is. Anyways, next up, Wendigo returns. It's just Wolverine fighting Wendigo. So Wendigo will come back and Wolverine will have to try and stop him. And in number 8, Viper bites, and this will be basically just a battle between Wolverine and Viper. Iron Fist only has 6 issues coming out this year, in year 1, and the first issue will be The Dragon Within, and it's basically Iron Fist learning his abilities and learning his kung fu style of fighting. Iron Fist number 2, introducing Warhawk. Warhawk is an Iron Fist villain, and yeah, it's just Warhawk is a Iron Fist villain, and Iron Fist will have to fight him. Same thing in Iron Fist number 3, Iron Fist versus Farah. Farah is the person who killed Iron Fist's mother, which we'll see that in his origin in issue 1. So he finally meets Farah, and he's going to fight Farah for the first time. Iron Fist number 4, Iron Fist versus meet Chaka Khan. Iron Fist will go on to fight Chaka Khan. Iron Fist number 5, Iron Fist fights a ninja. So basically, the villain's name is literally Ninja. So it's just basically a ninja comes and wants to fight Iron Fist, because he's heard about him and his kung fu and whatever, and he just doesn't like him, so he's coming to kill him. So Iron Fist is just like, that's not good for me. So, well, first off, I gotta change this because it says put when it's actually out. Okay. Next up, Iron Fist number 6, Cheyenne Tang out for blood. Cheyenne Tang is like a shapeshifter dragon. So Iron Fist will have to fight a shapeshifting dragon in that issue. And that will be the final issue of the year for Iron Fist. Next up is Captain Marvel, and we only got 5 issues for Captain Marvel with Captain Marvel number 1 being Space's New Guardian. No, this is not the female Captain Marvel. This is Genesis Vell. So this is the male Captain Marvel, and we get to see him become Captain Marvel, and learn with that. Next up is Captain Marvel number 2, Basilisk, and it'll be Captain Marvel fighting Basilisk, and these issues will basically be Captain Marvel in outer space fighting. So he will fight Basilisk in that issue. Captain Marvel number 3, Enter the Negative Zone. So this will be the first time we are getting introduced to the Negative Zone. Because, like I said, it was kind of mentioned in Fantastic Four, but it really wouldn't, be the case. But this will be the first official time that the Negative Zone will be in this universe, like officially, because they are entering that thing. And Captain Marvel number 4 will be Annihilus versus Blastar, but then Annihilus and Blastar will fight each other, but then team up to fight Captain Marvel, which then Captain Marvel will go on and prevail to victory. And next up, Captain Marvel number 5, Ronan the Accuser. Captain Marvel will have to fight Ronan, and we will also be learning about the Kree in this as well. But Captain Marvel, he goes on to fight Ronan, and it's basically just that. Just Captain Marvel fighting Ronan on his spaceship and whatever. Moon Knight is up next, and as you see, we are on the phone too. So Moon Knight number 1, Fist of Khonshu. This will be Khonshu going on, picking Moon Knight to be like, hey, you're my fists now. You gotta learn how to now you gotta learn to fight like me and whatever. And in Moon Knight number 2, it's split personalities, and we'll get to dive deeper into all of his split personalities and living those lives and how he does it. But Fist of Khonshu will basically be like, that's why Khonshu picked him, Mark Spector, because of his split personalities. We get to learn about that. We'll get to learn more about split personalities in issue number 2. And then in Moon Knight number 3, Black Spectre attacks. Basically, it will be Moon Knight fighting the Black Spectre. And Werewolf by Night, the 3 issues for Werewolf by Night is Werewolf by Night number 1, Wolf Within. It'll be kind of like an origin story for Werewolf by Night, but kind of not, because it will actually be the police to go after Werewolf by Night, as well as so the police will actually be the villains, because the police are learning about this werewolf, and they don't like that, so they're gonna go on to try and kill him. But Werewolf by Night actually prevails over the police. He kills some police, but then he actually does good because in Werewolf by Night number 2, Dracula comes for blood. Dracula is coming, and he's just like, hey, he's like, I rose from the dead because I heard about a worthy challenger. I have fought a couple werewolves before, but I've never seen someone like you. And then he'll be like, wait, I thought I was the first. And he'll be like, no, no. He's like, well, you're the first more normal werewolf. While me, I just fought actual like werewolves back in my day. So it'll basically be that, but Dracula will just go away and he'll say, hey, I may not be as strong as you for the moment, but just wait until I come back and I fight you again because I will be stronger and I will kill more people to suck their blood. And finally, Werewolf by Night number 3, Man Thing comes alive, and we will get to see Werewolf by Night fight the Man Thing in this issue, but they will later become good friends with each other, building up more for Midnight Suns, which hopefully by next year, once again, for my year 2, there should be a 3-issue series of Midnight Suns. Hopefully they combine together for the October one, if depending on what would be, the what would be good for them. So yeah, depending on if I have the right villains planned out. So yeah, so this is my Marvel universe. I try to make it more connected, with each other, but I don't know. You guys gotta let me know what you think. I think Amazing Spider-Man, Avengers, and Fantastic Four are some of my better ones. Maybe X-Men, but I know as Amazing Spider-Man, I have more to it. Like guys who aren't really equivalent to the Avengers, I don't really have to worry about like time management or whatever, and like how certain characters who are fighting them are with in other stuff, unless if they're in a part of a certain thing, part of a certain series. But that's pretty much about it. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm so sorry that this was a long video. This will probably be like this maybe in a week or 2 from now. But thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like, subscribe for more videos like these, and let me know down below what your favorite series was that I did, and hopefully it can be improved. And let me know what superheroes you would like me to do and villains you would like me to see and do reviews on as well, and to do series like this. Thanks guys for watching. If you do watch this, I'll see you all later. Peace.